Hey everybody, Jake here from Bearded Gear, and I have a box to open, but something weird has happened, and I genuinely do not know what is in this box, or who it's from. It's to me, and there's an address that it's from, but I don't recognize the address off the top of my head, and this is a big box that feels like there's kind of a lot of stuff in it, so I just genuinely don't know if this is something that I have ordered, and I forgot that I ordered, or if this is something that just got sent to me and I didn't know it was coming, or what is happening here. But I'm going to bust it open, and maybe by the thumbnail you'll already know what's in here, but I genuinely do not. So we're going to find out. Opening it with the Ace Nimbus version 2, carrying that, and the Ace Grand today. Carrying the Nimbus as the secondary, the Grand as the primary, and it's going pretty well in that way. Let's see what we've got here. It's in a flat rate box. There's a bunch of bubble wrap. Holy crap. Oh! I totally know what this is. Haha! Okay, this makes way more sense now. I didn't put two and two together of what this could possibly be, but I believe this has to be, yeah, with how many knives are in here, this is the Give a Knife, Take a Knife Passaround that I'm a part of. I'll link to, it's JT's Knifelife who's putting this on, so I'll link to, I think he's got a playlist of all of these videos. I think I'm the last stop for this box, so I guess I'm just going to go through these one by one. It's going to take a minute because there's a lot of stuff in here, and then I'll be choosing one of these to keep and putting in a knife of mine to replace it with. So there's a lot of stuff in here. The first one, this is a steel wheel box, and let's see which model it is. It says it's the Piercer on the box. We'll see if that's true. Let's see what we have. It is. So we have a steel wheel Piercer. This is a model that I've been aware of for a while, but I've never tried. It's got a nice deep carry pocket clip. It's got a hole for deployment, which I like. It's a knife on paper that I'm pretty intrigued by. Let's see how middle finger flicks. Middle finger flicks well. Ergos aren't bad for me. Interesting piece. Okay. So, steel wheel Piercer is knife number one. Throw that back in the box so that I don't disorganize all of this stuff. That is really hilarious. I genuinely was scratching my head as to what this could possibly have been in this box, because it felt way too heavy and like there was too much stuff in it to be like something that I ordered. But it is something that I knew was coming, I just forgot about, if we're being honest. This one is a Bastion knife. I'm not really overly familiar with Bastion knives. I feel like I've heard of them before, but I've never owned one or handled one that I know of. Oh, this is nice. Look at that. Okay. So this one has a black bolster lock with carbon fiber laid over it. That's pretty cool looking. I don't know much about these. It does say it's got D2 blade steel here on the flipper tab. Okay. I don't know much about this knife, but it's got this partially coated blade. A little bit of schmutz on it, but partially coated blade. Satin flats. Interesting, interesting, interesting. I don't know that this is totally my style, so I doubt this will be the one that I pick, but a Bastion flipper of some sort. Cool. That's two knives. I'm going to need to make more room over here. I've literally got like one of my daughter's hangers on my desk. Alright, that's two of them. Let's do this one next. This is an Artisan cutlery box. I'm assuming I'm going to find an Artisan knife inside. Let's see what we have in here. A nice little pouch. What is this? Ah, okay. I don't know what this model is called off the top of my head. I've seen it before though. It's a little titanium frame lock with carbon fiber insert. Interesting. Okay. I feel like I want to call it like the Shark or something, but I could totally be wrong. It's got a nice edge on it. A stabby little sucker. This is a pokier, stabbier blade than I typically carry. Interesting. Okay, so there's an Artisan. Let's close that back up. Bear with me as I make sure everything stays in its proper box. I don't want to get this all messed up. Alright, there's a couple CRKTs in here. Let's go through the first one. It says it's the AUX folder, AUX. I have not followed CRKT in a long time. Like, I follow them, but I haven't like really paid attention to them, if I'm being honest. This is an interesting one. It's got a little bit of surface rust. I don't know if that's from transit or not, but it's a Burnley design. I like Burnley's design language usually. It's got this kind of like golf ball pattern on these scales, and it's like black plasticky material. It doesn't say what steel this is. I'm assuming it's 8CR, knowing CRKT, but it's actually quite smooth. See how that's not too shabby on closing. It's centered. Interesting. That golf ball pattern is weird. It really feels like the surface of a golf ball. Alright, so there's the first of 2 CRKTs that are in here. Let's see what the next one is. And, alright, this one says it's the GSD. Get stuff done. This one is a steel frame lock. I can tell just by the weight that it's definitely steel. But that's kind of an interesting look to it for a CRKT. I feel like that's a little atypical. It's got a milled clip as well. And let's see, flipper. It flips. It's on IKBS. Oh, this is a Liang Ma design. I didn't realize that. Interesting. That feels pretty good. As budget CRKTs go. I'm assuming this one's budget. I don't know how much it costs, but it's a frame lock on bearings. It's almost perfectly centered. It's got a milled pocket clip, although the milled pocket clip doesn't quite contact the scale. I don't know if that's just bent out. It could probably be bent back in, but interesting. Okay, so a little steel frame lock flipper, Liang Ma design. That's interesting. Some knives I definitely didn't even know existed in this box. This one is from Zon Knives, Z-O-N. I don't know what that is. I probably should have watched some of the videos of the guys who went right before me to see what was going to be in here. Haven't done that yet. Interesting. Okay, so this is a big G10 liner lock flipper, and it's like a natural or jade G10. Not usually my cup of tea, but it would be a great host for some Rit dye. It's got a blue G10 backspacer. Pocket clip. Looks to just be a steel, pretty typical pocket clip. I'm not familiar at all with Zon knives. I don't know if they're related to anybody else. I'm assuming they're from China, but let's see how the flipper does. Okay, that flips well. Get past the detent. That's a pretty good action. This is definitely a big blade. That's got to be at least 4 inches, maybe even a hair over. Steedemon design. I had a Steedemon knife at one point. I do not remember what it was called. Steedemon Vuking or something? I don't know. I had it. It was a little titanium. I think it was a liner lock. It might have been a frame lock. And I had my buddy Kyle do a lightning anno on it. And then ended up, I think I sold that. Might have traded it or something. But anyways, interesting. So this is a meaty sucker, but a cool construction. So the show side is just G10, there's no liner, and then there's a nested liner on the lock side. Looks like that's what the clip goes into as well. So kind of a cool design. I'll have to look a little more into Zon knives. And there's one more knife in this package. It's in a Microtech box. So I'm kind of hoping it actually is a Microtech. Let's see. UTX 70, double edge, partially serrated. It's light enough that there could be a UTX 70 in here. Let's see what we've got. It is. Oh, these things are so tiny. Every time I see one of these, I'm shocked by how small they actually are. It is just the most baby little out the front. I can barely pretty much get 4 fingers on here. I've seen, so the ones of these that I've seen before I deploy this have been the ones that I've had friends pick up at California Custom Knife Show, and they're the even shorter blade than normal because they're the California legal ones. Those I have no interest in, just because they're like little toothpicks, and with the shorter blade especially, I just feel like it's kind of silly. But maybe with this properly sized blade, proportionate to the knife itself. Interesting. So this one is the partially serrated, double-edged. It's got a black coated blade with the satin flats. I mean, it feels like an Ultratech, just tiny. It's definitely fun. Interesting. Yeah, this one will be tempting. We will see. I might have to make this one the one that I pick, but I'm going to do a video selecting which knife I'm going to go with. This is just the unboxing. So this is the final knife, the Ultratech. So we had the Steel Will, the Bastion, the 2CRKTs, the Artisan, the Zon, and the Microtech. So basically, the way this works, if you take something out of this pile of knives, you're supposed to replace it with something of similar value. I think the way it started out, all the knives in it were about $50, but somewhere along the line, somebody ended up putting a more expensive knife in there, and then it's kind of evolved as it's gone along. And I think there's actually more knives in it now, because at one point someone took one of the nicer knives and put 2 knives in. So we'll see. I don't know yet for sure which one I'm going to go with. This is a fun little toy. That's about what I'll say about it for now. So this will be interesting. I guess that'll be that. That is my unboxing of this, what was a mystery to me, box of knives. And if you've been following this all along the way, then glad to have you here checking it out on my channel. This is going to be fun. So, see you guys on the next one. Within the next couple of days, I'll be picking which one of these I'm going to keep, and that'll be that. So, thanks everybody. I'll talk to you soon.